Hi guys, so I wanted to film a weight loss update. Today I reached my first goal. I lost 10 kilograms, so that's 22 pounds. I started losing weight this year in January. I filmed a few videos about that. I've been eating well. I've been, doing low carb, which means I'm just not eating any sugars or any refined carbohydrates. And so I've been eating that way since January. And that, I think, has made the biggest difference, just really watching what I eat. So I think for me the hardest thing was cutting out sugar in the beginning. I really had sugar cravings at first, but they subsided. And the other thing, of course, that I started doing is exercising. What I did is I bought an elliptical home trainer because I have in the past bought memberships to gyms and have tried to join fitness classes and stuff, and the problem is that I just never went. So I think last year, just at the end of December, I bought a home trainer, and I actually bought it a used one. So I went on to like a local buy and sell website here in Switzerland because the good home exercise machines can cost thousands of dollars, and I didn't really want to spend that just because I wasn't sure if I was going to keep it up. So I didn't want to invest like $1,000 or something like that into a home trainer and then never use it. So Kettler, I think it's called Kettler Mondeo. It's I think Kettler is a German exercise machine manufacturer. Basically, I don't do like any specific thing on there. There's different programs that are in this machine that we bought where you can do like interval training, where it's kind of like you feel like you're going uphill, then it gets easier, and then it gets harder again. So I just do the different programs that are on there. And the first time that I went on there, I was on like, that one of the easiest settings. I didn't even do a program in the beginning because I couldn't last that long. The first time I went on it, I think I had it on like the lowest setting, and I could only do like 15 minutes. And at that 15 minutes, I was like exhausted. I was like sweating like crazy, and I was so out of breath, and it just showed me how completely out of shape I was. But I just kept going at it, and don't overdo it. Like if you get into some new exercise regime and you haven't exercised at all, then don't overdo it. Don't say, oh, I'm gonna go to the gym every day for 2 hours or something, because you're not gonna keep it up. Start really slow. I only went on it like the first week. I think I went on it 2 times for like 20 minutes or 15 minutes or something, just because I couldn't go on it longer. Like I was that out of shape because I didn't do any exercise. And I just gradually started building that up, and now I go on it. I do the different programs. I started off with like easier programs, and now I'm on sort of like a medium program. It's not like the hardest one yet, but it's like a mid-level going to the harder side program. And the program usually, I think, lasts for 40 minutes, between 40 and 45 minutes. And I try to do it like at least 3 times a week. So in the beginning, I just built it up, and then for a while I was doing like every day, and then I just felt like, oh my god, this is way too much. I just was dreading going on the stupid elliptical every day. So I curbed it down, so now I'm going on it between 3, sometimes 4 times a week. And basically, if you do get some kind of like a home exercise machine, I would recommend to put it in front of a TV, because that totally distracts you, especially in the beginning when it's like really hard for you to do it. I would just put on a program, and that would totally take my mind off the actual work I was doing on the machine, because I was just like sweating like crazy, and I was like, oh, I can't do it anymore, And of course my diet has just been the same as I showed in my video where I had that food diary where I kind of show what I eat. So I've just been continuing that. I've been very good with that. I have completely cut out sugar. The only sugars that I do consume are the natural sugars that are contained in fruit. So I do eat still fruit, which, I mean, if you're doing the hardcore or low carb, you kind of have to reduce the fruit as well. But I didn't want to do that because I don't want to just, I'm not a hardcore person, I'm not like, wow, I have to do this like exactly by the book, I wanted to do it so that it's comfortable for me and so that I can sustain doing it over a longer period of time. Because if I do it hardcore, I'm gonna get bored of it, and after 2 weeks I've had enough, and I just, want to go back to a normal way of living again. But I do get most of my nourishment like that I need throughout the day. I get it from proteins and vegetables. Sometimes if I do have a sweet craving, what I would buy is dark chocolate, 70% chocolate, because the 70% chocolate has very little sugar in it, and it still has that chocolatey taste. I mean, obviously it's not going to be as sweet and as creamy as like milk chocolate or white chocolate, but it still gives you that satisfaction of like, wow, you're eating something, you know, sweet and chocolatey. And otherwise, if I had a sweet craving, like sometimes at night I'm like, wow, I really need to have something, I would eat berries. So like strawberries, or especially now it's like strawberry season, and in summer there's going to be lots of berries again, so that's good. And the best thing about this diet is that you don't have to watch your calories. So I would put on like cream and stuff, and that's amazing to me, because I've never been one to like, I would never count calories. That's just something I would never do. If I want something, I'll eat it, but it's just reducing also the portion sizes and just trying to balance it out. So that's for me why the low carb worked well, because, or is working well still, because I can eat, you know, double rich cream, and I can eat that with my strawberries, and it is basically going along with the food plan, and I don't, you know, I'm not cheating. And see more on kind of the things that I eat in my low carb food diary that I did. I'll link it below if you missed it, because that's pretty much how I eat now. Today I had this amazing feeling. Basically, I went down to the basement and I brought up this whole suitcase of clothes that I put away, and I used to wear those when I was you know, going to university in Montreal. And I started gaining weight, you know, when I was here in Switzerland. I just didn't care. I didn't even have a scale at home, so I had no idea how much weight I was gaining. I just realized I knew I had to keep buying new clothes because the clothes didn't fit me and they didn't look good on me, and I really hate like muffin tops and stuff. So I kept buying pants that were bigger and bigger. And for some reason I decided to keep all those clothes that I was wearing back when I was going to university. And I kept them in a suitcase in the basement, and you know, I always had this thought that, you know, one day I'm going to be able to wear them again. When I got here to Switzerland, I think I was just in a really kind of bad place. I was kind of unhappy. I had a crappy job back then that I just, you know, it was a good career job, but I just wasn't enjoying it at all. And I think I just didn't care anymore about what I looked like. I was just kind of depressed, and I just moved here, and I didn't really know a lot of, you know, I didn't have like a really good social circle again. So I just got kind of depressed, and I think that I just stopped caring about what I looked like, and I was just like, oh, who cares, you know? Last year, around this time, I think I was at my biggest size that I was, and I hate clutter personally. If you know me, like, I'm always giving clothes to charity that I don't want, and throwing away things, or like giving things to other people if they're just standing around my house, be it books or clothes or furniture or whatever. So I had this big suitcase of clothes that I had been keeping all these years, for I think like 4 or 5 years now. I've kept these clothes. And last year I was just like, you know what, Julia, you're never gonna fit in those clothes again. Just get rid of them, because anyway they're gonna be totally out of style and you're never gonna fit them anymore, so just get rid of them. And I almost did. I almost got rid of that whole suitcase of clothes that I didn't have like a huge wardrobe, but some pieces I had kept because I just liked them. And you know, when I was going to university, I would dress like sexy clothes, like not stripper hookerish look, but you know, I'd wear like tight jeans and cute little tops and stuff, and I used to wear clothes like that all the time. And I just, for the last 4 or 5 years, I was never wearing stuff like that anymore because it just didn't look good. You know, I think some people who are overweight, they either try to go the route of looking sexy and wearing really revealing stuff, which I personally think looks really horrible because it doesn't fit, or they just go the other route where it's like wearing tents and there's no shape whatsoever, which actually makes them look bigger. And I went that route for a while. I decided to go with the tent thing, and I'd wear these really big tops that kind of just hid everything. And you know, in the last year or so, I have been buying clothes that have been more appropriate for my size, but that still give me a shape. So I think for the fact that I was overweight, I mean, I wasn't like 200 pounds overweight, but I just wasn't feeling comfortable with how I looked. And that's why, you know, in my videos I never did outfits of the day and stuff, because I just wasn't happy with how I looked. Today, I was putting away some of my winter clothes because it's spring here and stuff, and I thought, you know what, I'll just bring this suitcase up and I'm gonna see, you know, if this stuff either fits me, and if it really doesn't fit me, then I'll just get rid of it. I'm sorry guys, I had no idea I'd be getting this emotional. I'm really not usually the weepy crying kind. But anyway, I brought up that whole suitcase and I tried on all the clothes, and my jeans fit me again that I was wearing back then. I'm gonna show them to you at the end. The jeans that I loved in university, they were from Guess, and I remember buying them. They were such a splurge for me because they were expensive for my student budget. You know, I didn't have a lot of money. And yeah, so those jeans fit me again, and I have a couple capris that I kept that I was wearing back then all the time when it was hot and stuff, and they fit me again. And I have this like mini skirt that fits me again. I have a few things that fit me, but it doesn't look perfect. Like, it doesn't look good yet, you know? I know I haven't reached my goal. I still want to lose more weight. There's still areas that I definitely need to work on. The main thing is my stomach, which just means more fat burning. I need to keep doing my cardio. I'm pretty happy with my legs. My legs have always kind of been more on the muscular side, but definitely I still want to lose weight around my hips and like stomach area, and my arms. I definitely want to tone them a bit. But I just can't explain to you the feeling that I had, you know, when I tried on all those clothes again, because I'd given up, you know. I was like, I'm just gonna end up being this fat person, and that's just how it is. I'm not at my goal yet. I still want to lose weight. I want to get toned. The main thing that I want to do now is I want to get to the point where I can wear a bikini and feel confident. I don't want to be anorexic thin. That's not realistic for me. I'm very tall. I'm 5'10", which is 177 centimeters if you're on metric. So if I was like a size 0, I would honestly look like one of those catwalk anorexic models, and that's not what I want. I'm trying to stay realistic. My goal is to get down to a size 8, and now I've already kind of lost 2 sizes, and I think that now it's starting to become like a realistic goal for me. Like, I can actually see that happening. I didn't really take a good before picture. This was the thing. I think I was just, when I started this whole thing, I just thought that it wouldn't work anyway. I just had this kind of feeling like I wasn't going to keep it up, so I never really took any before pictures. And for me also, it's not really for me about before and after. It's just I want to get back to that place where I just you know, feel happy with the way I look and the way that I feel. You know, now I can run upstairs and I'm not panting at the end when I get to the top. A lot of my clothes now, obviously, that I bought like last summer, because I brought up like this whole suitcase with some of my summer clothes as well, and they don't fit me. They're too big. So now I'm like, oh crap, because I don't want to buy a bunch of new clothes now because I know I'm going to keep losing weight. So that's just a waste of money because they're not going to fit me in a month or 2, because they're going to be too big again, which is great, but it just means that right now I'm just kind of, either I wear clothes that are a little bit too small for me because I'm wearing the clothes that I used to wear back in Montreal, like back when I was in university, and they're just a little bit too small, but they're gonna fit in like a month. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna look a little bit overweight right now. Funny to me because now the clothes that I was wearing all the time, I'm like, I can't believe I was that size, you know. My weight loss hasn't been dramatic, so it's because you see yourself in the mirror every day and you feel your body, right? If you're showering, you see that you have like stomach rolls or whatever, so you don't notice your weight loss as much. I mean, I saw on the scale that I was losing weight, but I wasn't like, wow, this is a huge difference from one day to the next. But in the last while, people have started commenting to me, or people who haven't seen me for a while. Like yesterday, we had someone over at our house who hadn't seen me in about a year. And he commented that, wow, I really lost a lot of weight. And to me, I was like, oh, really? Did I? Like, I hadn't even really realized it, you know? Because it's different. It's not, like, standing on a scale is not going to tell you how your body actually looks and feels. It just tells you a number, and I hadn't even really been aware of it until I think today when I brought up all those clothes that I had almost thrown out because I thought I'm never gonna fit them again, and they fit me again. So I'm just completely happy, and I'm just gonna keep going with it. And I totally encourage you guys who are thinking about losing weight and who've given up, just don't give up. You can do it. I was like a person who'd given up, and I was just like, you know, I said to myself in my head, I was like, you know what, who cares what you look like? You have a boyfriend that loves you, and I might not be happy with my body, but I'm a good person and blah blah blah. I don't know what it was in my head, but for whatever reason I decided like, no, I'm not gonna settle for that. I'm gonna lose weight. And I'm not saying I'm perfect. I don't have a perfect figure yet. I still have, you know, fat around my stomach and around my love handles and, you know, that stuff, but I know I'm on the right track, and I can see that it's realistic now for me to say I'm gonna be, you know, a size 8 one day. That's, I think, a good size for my height, because I'm, as I said, I'm tall, and I still want to look womanly. I still want to have curves and stuff. I don't want to be real thin. And my boyfriend and I are going on holidays in September to Sardinia, as I might have mentioned in another vlog. Now it's starting to become realistic, like that I'll actually be able to go on a beach there and wear a bikini and not feel like I'm a beached whale, you know? So yeah, that's, I guess, my little weight loss update. I'll do another update maybe when I lose another 10 kilos. I don't know how long it's gonna take me, because it took me since January to do that. So it's not something that happens overnight, but it's definitely been worth it. And I'll show you now at the end my progress. As I said, I don't have a perfect figure yet. I know that I still have areas that are problematic, that are not, you know, perfect, but I kind of want to see it for myself too, because then I can kind of track my progress also when I look back on these videos. So yeah, and I'll show you my jeans, of course, which I was so happy that I could fit into them again. So thanks for watching. I hope that was inspiring or motivating to someone else out there. Bye guys.